Hello and welcome to another hour stream, I would say. Welcome to my Asylum Atelier. Welcome to painting discourse or art discourse. It doesn't really matter. It's all about creative work. And speaking about the creative work, I want you. I want to encourage you to join me on this endeavor, on this journey of a discovery when it comes to creativity and ideas and thoughts and so on and so forth. So please do not watch this video, but rather join me. Make sure that you have some paper, maybe ink, maybe pencils, maybe oil paints as I have. If you work digitally, then you have opened your favorite software to work with. And if you're a sculptor and you like to get your hands really dirty, then you're welcome to join us with a clump of clay and some sculpting tools. That would be awesome as well, because there's a lot of abstract discussion, a lot of ideas that are very close to being philosophical. And as you might know, I always point out to the fact that ideas are abstract, but then the questions that I have about painting and art in general, it's also abstract. And interestingly, answers are in practice. So that's kind of a difficult thing to, it was actually a difficult thing for me to understand as well, that, it's just that kind of a mindset that I used to talk a lot and ask a lot of questions about art, and then maybe I haven't had a chance to put that much time into actually executing these ideas and then proving them either right or wrong. And let me rephrase that, not necessarily right and wrong, but perhaps find that creative solutions to problems and then applying them to a canvas. And testing these theories and possibilities. So that's what this stream is all about. It has literally zero entertainment value unless you really want to join me with creating artwork. I talk a lot about Rembrandt, as you might know, but I think that there is one topic that it's even more talked about, and that's composition, because I think the composition is the most important part when creating a interesting work of art. And especially for me, finding these creative solutions when it comes to compositional issues is probably the most entertaining part that I have. So yes, please join me with your creative ideas. And again, since this is our stream, this is our painting discourse or art discourse in general, I'll be very happy if you join us, not only by spirit, but also with some ideas. I'm more than happy to put them into test and see if it's possible, and see if it works, and then also creative criticism, and maybe add some pointers to what we do, so we will have a better chance, and we will have like a larger library of assets, let's say, because I was using a Blender a lot these days. So again, I'm in that modeling stage of thinking. And when I said the library of assets, it means that there is a plenty of already created ideas that we can just pull from that library and then apply them, tweak them a little bit, creatively again, and then create something completely new. So I'm going to do a little recap, and I'm going to apologize for Saturday. Since there is end of the year, there's a lot of projects that I have to finish. I kind of forgot that my schedule is it's really full, and I forgot that we have a family celebration, so I couldn't stream, so I apologize for that. But I'm here on Monday refreshed and ready to paint because I was missing painting a lot. Not that I don't want to say that I didn't want to go to that family celebration. It was awesome, and I was very happy to be part of that. It's just it's that again that itch that you have that I have to go back to studio because there's so many cool other ideas that I haven't tried yet, and I really want to. And together on I believe Wednesday we started together this new project. Or no, it was Thursday. I'm sorry, it was Thursday last week. We started the left side of that fragment painting. So I'm kind of excited to continue because there's some weird ideas that we proposed together, and especially when it comes to composition, which again gave us some new and better understanding about how can we manipulate things to create a little bit more pleasing, a little bit more I'm sorry, I'm just I'm trying to continue the thought that I started. Plus, I'm looking and I'm already analyzing and starting to move things around in my head. So it always kind of stops me from continuing with this introduction. So let me do this. We have all the disclaimers out of the way. I again really want to apologize for not being here on Saturday, but like I said, I had to prioritize, and I prioritize on Saturday a family. So that's what it is. So I'm sorry if you get offended, but hopefully you don't, and you understand that family it's number one when it comes to priorities. So. And let me get right into the painting. A little recap. You might see these 1, 2, 3 numbers that I placed there at the end of Bad Painting Friday experiments that we did with this composition. The reason why I numbered them, because I was talking about how important for me it's to then correct certain things. And the first one is going to be a foot. Second should be adding flowers that we talked about, the sunflowers, and third one is that icon there. And then also continuing with finishing a sleeve right here, and then starting to work on the face and so on and so forth. But these are 3 major things because, and the reason why I want to add these 3 things there is that these are going to, remember, enclose that composition, right? I'm going to get that clear silhouette and I'm going to better understand visually whether or not this composition works, right? So I don't want to do the same mistakes that I did previously. I want to learn from them. So, and learning from them means that I remember that I had difficulties with a placement of the feet. I wasn't sure where to put them. And one of the problems was not necessarily that, I don't know how to paint feet. It's more about I was not happy with overall shape and that kind of a beautiful division between negative space and positive space and the proper balance of these formal divisions when it comes to composition. So I would really like to dive into that feet placement. I would like to really place it convincingly so it's there. And then I would like to add a sunflowers today here. So as a part of that composition that we talked about, I still haven't had the chance to really look in the sunflowers, so we're just going to freestyle it. What else? What else is there? And also I can see that my pigment is not necessarily completely dry, but it's fairly dry. So I want to get more into that technique that I started with that, underpainting that you requested me to do. And I'm still helping myself with a little bit of charcoal, just to, showing you certain ideas. And that would be another cool experiment right now, to actually go there with the charcoal and just bring some of these things, to do a little better division between light and dark, and create a kind of a mixed medium, a painting. But that's let's leave this for another video, another experiment, maybe even from painting from life. Maybe if I have some model here, that would be awesome, to just kind of have a fun a little bit with the different setups. But before all this, I have to finish the fragment painting that is right there in the corner, and this and another part of that are the main issues right now for me, along with the other another project that I have to finish by the end of the year. So let's get into this, and I should probably really go with that feet placement and start looking for how to put them in and what the shape would be. And you can see that I completely erased. I mean, you can still see that there's some smudge, because I wanted to leave at least a little bit of a value there, or that stain from a pigment, so I know at least where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do when I come here. Earlier today. I'm checking it. I'm going back and forth because I'm not really sure what would be okay. What would be the best position or best shape for these feet? And then also I'm looking at that connection with the sunflowers. So maybe I should just pull up just a simple I don't think I've ever worked on the project where I used sunflowers, so this might be really entertaining, to say the least. And the reason why I'm saying that it should be entertaining is because there is a lot of things that I haven't had a chance to paint. Let me maybe just Google how sunflowers looks like actually, because I can't really. Oh, okay. It's a good way to push myself. Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. I have some. The only problem is that with sunflowers, I don't even know where to start, what to do, what to think about. It's really going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I probably should have worked on these sunflowers on Bed Painting Friday. But, let's see. And again, this is for fun. This has nothing, it's just so let's make a Bed Painting Friday on Monday here, just off the bat, first day, first hour of a painting of this week, just really pushing it. Yeah, let's do that. That's gonna be awesome. It's just gonna be, it's just gonna be a great day. Just immediately when you write down sunflowers, it's just Van Gogh and that kind of a color palette. So I don't know how can I fit this into what I'm trying to create, but talked about these sunflowers for so long that I can't just backpedal from that. Or I could, but then where's the fun in that? There's so many beautiful pictures of sunflowers. My current project is the bed painting project. Just wanted to see WTF will happen if I just don't worry and have fun. Okay, all right, so you know exactly how I feel, so we are on the same page. That's awesome. So it's just, I have to, that's just the inner competitiveness inside me. So you're having fun, let me, push the bar even higher. So I'm going to have fun with something I've never painted, and I'm just going to freestyle it. And then maybe we can exchange our frustrations. That's gonna be that'll be fun. That'll show everybody. Okay, let's do this. Let's push it. It's just all these sunflowers that I'm Googling are always, and this is something that, again, goes back to that composition ideas, that all these sunflowers are like it almost feels that sunflower is such a powerful plant and, important as well, that it's always the center of stage. It has a specific shape. It has a, it's just it's so many things that, oh wow. Some of these paintings that I'm looking at of sunflowers are amazing. So let's push it. Let's really, really like experiment with some of these ideas. And I think I could do like a So what did I say? Am I going to do like a because I'm looking at these different ideas and random ideas, and I see some of the sunflowers, like the different stages of growing process, right? Some of them are really fresh and with a smaller, that center part, the brown center part, and not ready, for lack of a better word. And then some of them are really already drying out and have these heads down. I don't know, because again, compositionally, and when I'm thinking about that right now, is that it kind of, if you make them in the later stage of their growth, when they're kind of hanging down and they are ready to be harvested, it almost seems like they're also, it shows that wear and tear by the journey of their, growing, which kind of relates to their journey as well. But then I mentioned also that I want perhaps that sunflower point to a certain direction to kind of show that that's the sun that comes, or the light, enlightenment that they're bringing. So, maybe I should have and then again, I can't even imagine what am I going to do? How am I going to set it into that kind of a environment that I started there, which is a little gloomy, a little bit more, not really sunflower-like. That might be actually interesting juxtaposition. It's just, I don't know where to start and how to think about that. Did Andrew Wyeth painted some sunflowers or not? I don't think so. I don't recall him painting those. Because that would be an awesome painting. That's for sure. I have this. I think that in the Helga series I saw some. There was no sunflowers. That was just nature. Yeah, I don't think I see anything. So I guess we're just gonna freestyle that idea. Because why not? We could maybe use some of his ideas. That I remember there was it was not sunflowers, it was a corn. Now I remember. Okay. All right then. And I know that I wrote that I should put the. Okay, let's start with that. Let's just do. Let me just settle in a little bit with something that I am not that unfamiliar with, and let's get into that missing foot, and then I can, we'll settle in a little bit. I will feel maybe a little better about this random decision and about my camera again. That's just being extremely annoying, right? Right. Is my camera going to start working or not? I don't think so, right? Hmm. Anyway, I know I have to sort this problem. But what I'm going to do, I am not going to mix anything else. Just the same thing that I did previously, which was a black with vermilion. So you don't need to be worried that I am creating something that you haven't seen. So let me just use. A little bit of that pigment. And again, I'm going to use this mixture because it kind of works for me and for that underpainting that I have there. So I'm pre-mixing just a slightly larger batch that I'm going to dip in, but it's not necessary to do that. It's just easier, so I can focus strictly on developing that developing that picture. Oh wow. Wasn't it like who am I thinking about? Um, what's the painter that did these beautiful sunflowers? Uh, he has that, and I remember that it just kind of all goes together because I talked about Daniel Bilmes last time, and I remember that he showed me. I think that he showed me that artist, or and he was painting hands. Let me see. Let me. Um, Let me see if I can Google. I mean, this is just annoying. Or was I mistaken? No, he has that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not sunflowers, it's hands. I'm talking about David Sarrazin. Let me type it down for you, I guess, so you know what I'm talking about. He's a very famous painter, and he has these beautiful, beautiful paintings of hands. And it's very stylistic, it's really, really beautiful. And in some of these paintings, he painted hands and sunflowers. So that's where I saw sunflowers. Okay, let me just type it in. I hope that this is how you spell his name properly in English, hopefully. I believe that that's how you spell it. But it was hands, it was not sunflowers. So, but really, really a incredible painter. I really like his style. I really like the way how he treats his palette and colors and pigments. Cool stuff, definitely. But that's not what I'm looking for. So, unfortunately. So let me hit that. I'm gonna paint feet a little bit. Or not, paint. I'm just going to find a proper position for the foot. So I talked about a position, and I'm looking at it right now with, as I mentioned, fresh eye. I had a chance to spend a little time away from the studio, so everything kind of looks new to me here right now, which is awesome, because I can start right now. I can start correct certain things that need adjustments. So same technique as I used 2 previous times. I'm not changing anything that I did. I'm just trying to, again, adjust and get even closer to that since my hands, as we discussed previously, are going to be covered with those sleeves, I can move this. And I'm sorry, this is something that I saw, so immediately I want to correct it, because it's kind of important for me to see where this is gonna go. I have a feeling again that this might be a problem with my painting, same as the cross, right? If I do not address that very strong vertical line, which this represents, I might again struggle. Dennis, yes, probably. Did I say did I wrote and write David? Really? I'm pretty sure it's Dennis. I'm pretty sure you're right. Of course it's Dennis. I don't know. I'm crazy. I just I apologize. Yes, you're absolutely right. Right. It's Dennis. So let me thank you for fact checking me, because that's something that I really need. It's Monday. Let's blame it on Monday. So I hope that you'll have chance to just look through his work. It's a little bit more stylized, I would say, more in that kind of a, he really is dabbing in. That's how I feel about this. And again, I'm not a historian. I'm not someone who, I'm not a critique. I'm not doing a critique on his work. I just he has that kind of a visual. It's more. It's graphic. It's very strong graphic, compositional imagery. It has that beautiful, active shapes against the very, very simple background, especially when it comes to his, figures. But then he also has a little bit more complicated, a little bit more advanced paintings. But the ones that I remember that we discussed in length when I used to live in LA, it was that those figures, a flat background, and then beautifully and color and silhouettes as well. It's really, really nice. How would I put this? He understands what it is to compose and beautifully design shapes on the canvas in a kind of a pleasing and still active way. So it's really, really, I think that it's really cool. And you should definitely check his work out. Okay, so I'm going to work on that foot as soon as I decide what to do with it. So I have these feet pointing that direction, and I'm taking I'm taking, like here I have where it is, here I have the large fragment painting, and I'm trying to see what position of a foot could work here. Something a little bit more dynamic, perhaps? Or the other way around? Should I just, make it very simple? Okay, let's do a simple one. So I can find that placeholder. So it could be this direction. And I guess this should go even higher. Can I go higher with this? Of course I can. So I really, really need to find the right balance here before I move anywhere else. So if we go here and here. Could this be the direction? Or should maybe this one should be in my sketch I put them kind of on the same spot, so I'm just going to do the same thing. In my sketch I have them on the same horizontal, and this one is more. I thought of the okay, so this could be actually a shadow right here. And I have to check the size. Okay. Yes, you're probably right. It's very close to that Leinecker's work. Because it's stylized. It's like a nice stylized. Not some of them. Most of them are beautifully stylized. So this is where I'm going to move it a little bit more higher up. So it's okay, again, I'm looking right now for the nice kind of a silhouette. And as long as I hit that stage when I'm satisfied with the silhouette, I'm gonna move to that sunflowers, because that's something that I'm missing right now. And I think I'm all right with that position for feet right now. He just seems that he's kind of, I don't know, I had a feeling that he's falling down. When it comes to maybe if I push this a little bit more. Yeah, that might help. And that will give me a little bit more space for this other foot, which I was looking for. Okay, so it's going to go a little bit more here and then here. And this is where is that transition gonna happen. Okay, yeah, this looks better. Because he felt, you know, I positioned that, I'm looking at the pit of the neck and I'm dropping straight all the way here, and it should be perhaps, if this is a weight bear, if the right foot, it's what, my camera turned on? No way. Okay, well, here we go. That's unexpected. Now we're cooking. So it's not, and it's frozen again. Anyway, let me get back to what I was explaining. So when you're looking at my canvas, the foot that it's on the right side, it's a weight-bearing foot, right? So I'm thinking about balance in terms of where, not where my head is necessarily, but where the pit of the neck is, and I'm dropping kind of a straight, where's my pointy stick? There it is. So I'm dropping the straight line from the pit of the neck to a ground, and I'm thinking about maybe it's around like the I don't know, a little bit more. It's not in the center, but it's closer to a heel. So it's like a, I don't know, where the heel ends. That's where I want to have that straight line to keep him kind of a balance. So let's, you know, for sake of the argument, let's put it into middle. So the middle of the foot, it's when I drop the line directly from pit of the neck, right, all the way down. That's where I want to have that center of mass. So it's like pushing right there, and that will give me a lot of ideas of how to move another foot, because that it just can be whenever you want, as long as you have that one weight-bearing foot planted solidly. You can do whatever you want with rest, and that's always going to help to navigate when it comes to a balance. But then also you can have a balance on both feet, right? So that's possible as well, where the center of the mass, it's going to be in between those feet, right? So you have like a little bit more active pose, not just that. And I don't want to say the contrapposto is not active, but it's more like we're thinking about that a starting point when it comes to, you know, thinking about the weight and balance. And I think that right now the mess of the whole mess of a feet, I had to make it a little bigger, because it felt disproportional to that painting. Yeah, and I'm looking at that. Reflection, mirror reflection, and it works way better right now. I can tell that it works better. Okay, so foot or feet, we know where we at with feet, which is cool. I'm just going to make them a little darker. Because that's where the shadow would be as well. And then maybe I can bring a little lighter area later on when I'm gonna render then. But it's another stage. Okay, so a first problem solved. So let's get into these sunflowers. And this is where the fun starts. So I mentioned that I want them to be here. I'm just going to erase this charcoal for now. I'm going to erase that charcoal and let's just I mean, seriously, so many. I didn't even know that there's so many, or there are so many beautiful paintings here of sunflowers. Who could have thought? You were onto something when you were painting those sunflowers. I have to give you a credit that you were really onto something. It's a beautiful shape. So I would put so what if I just, okay, so let me put, as I was thinking, one could be right here, and then I want to continue that swoop right there, if you remember. So let's just connect them maybe. And right now, I'm just free flowing with my brush. I'm just having fun. And the question is what to do with this, where to put it. You know what? You should paint them as a. I'm thinking. That was the first thing that came to my mind. That I'm just going to do beautiful sunflower painting. As a again, I should have painted Bed Painting Friday. But this is what we should do: Bed Painting Friday sunflowers. So then there will be preliminary painting for this preliminary painting, which is preliminary painting for, or for the fragment painting, which would be a preliminary painting for the final painting. It's an inception. It could be interesting. So, and what about, I'm thinking about sunflowers as a circles, which is not really the best way to think about them, I guess. Because that's just too obvious. So let's maybe stylize them a little bit, give them and maybe this should be one right here, so that I have 3. sunflowers. Maybe maybe one could be here, as I was talking about, you know, that. So I connect one with him, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I need a little bit, maybe like a. How big can sunflowers be, right? They're really tall. Very Inception-y, yeah. that's perfect. We're just creating words left and right here, which is awesome. I really like that. So I could connect it here, and then, you know, that's what I'm thinking, that sunflowers are really tall. But I might be wrong. But my sunflowers are going to be tall. So it's going to be darker value inside, also here. And here. The cool thing is that spreading that pigment on the canvas, the way that I do right now, it kind of immediately leave a certain texture, and it almost already look like a sunflowers, actually. Truth to be told, when I'm looking at it from, you know, like the sunflower texture there. So that's kind of cool. So I'm connecting these two together. And I'm, you know, really just simply looking for a shape that would nicely, you know, continue and bond together with that composition. This one could be maybe, this could be maybe one that goes down a little bit. And by down, I mean that this one could be like a pointed a little bit towards the bottom. And these two could point this direction. This could point this direction. There's one here, like a smaller one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're not spread properly right now, but it's okay. I can maybe adjust this one a little bit. So let me get my eraser brush. So again, since the camera is not working, I'm not using anything else, just I don't know what's happening. So I'm using a mineral spirits, clean mineral spirit, for erasing, and I'm dipping it into a lightly. I'm dipping it lightly, and then I'm also wiping it off. from the canvas. I'm really using it more for shaping a pigment as well as and what I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to find a nice continuous direction or line. You know, I set up myself that this is the composition, and I'm hoping that it's going to nicely work with that arm that I have right there, hopefully. And let's shape them nicely. Let's just, so it has these like specific leaves. So I'm trying to copy that leaf situation there. So that would be this way, and then maybe a small direction here, and then here, and then would push my shoulder slightly forward. Yep. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just trying to shape, design that sunflower. And I'm thinking about this as like abstract shape, as we talked about so many times. Really nothing exact, just like a little bit of definition, and really keeping it more abstract than anything else, for lack of better words, because I'm not sure. And with this technique, I'm really letting the pigment do its own. This is probably another way to think about these. It's just, this is very close to that kind of idea of watercolors, and I mean it in terms of you have a pigment on the canvas, and then you start introducing a solvent to it, and and you have to be very careful with this, because you don't want to ruin your painting. It can create these kind of a random, I don't even know how to point it out. There's something, that you probably should experiment with these techniques, because I'm using, you can see me wiping and going back and forth, and even when I'm wiping, I'm trying to wipe that pigment into a certain direction, so it creates a kind of a smudge that I need. And it's, again, it all comes down to the fact that I work similarly when it comes to a drawing, because I am using eraser as a drawing tool rather than just, you know, subtracting certain areas. It's kind of a weird idea if you're not familiar, or if you're not experienced with drawing that much with charcoal. It's just a it's a fun way to create a different textures, I would say, with your materials. So this could go this direction. Maybe I should push it the other way. It doesn't really matter. Maybe. And then I think with these sunflowers, I really have to get into understanding of the patterns that they're there, what leaves and those flowers. I guess that's kind of a I don't know if maybe I'm making them a little too small, but it doesn't really matter that much, because we can always argue that they are far away from us. I'm going to point this one this direction because I feel like I'm moving away too much there. So this one at the end should go this way. And I'm really using you know, my brush and my paper towel as some kind of a randomizer when it comes to these things. So I'm just pulling and pushing paint and pigment around, and the moment my camera will decide to work, I should probably, you know, I could maybe give you a little closer look to what I'm doing here. But I'm playing with transparencies and maybe I could start shaping these a little more accurately when it comes to. So I'm going to have a one sunflower. Oops, if I do not trip. So I want to have one sunflower that's going to be, that is going to be a little bit more developed and defined, which is going to give me that kind of a reference. And when I say reference, I mean that you're going to be, oh, those are sunflowers. ta-da, and then I'm just gonna go abstract. Which I think it's going to be enough, because here's the thing, I did just a quick research on these sunflowers right now since I started to stream, and they are extremely powerful as an object, so I don't want them to overpower that I don't want them to overpower a focal point which should be right here. One more of these directional lines right here. So I'm still pushing that direction right there. So this is nothing else. Maybe something could be. No, that's too much. I don't want that there. Rather to have one here. Okay, this might be enough sunflowers there. And maybe not, I don't know. Let me see. Maybe I could. Let's get rid of this completely, because right now it's kind of visually polluting that area. The reason why I don't want it to be up there, because I already have something that is touching that corner, and that's this area right here. So it would break that direction this way and this way, that kind of triangle. So maybe one could be here, maybe on the, above his head, perhaps. Yeah, that would be probably better if I push one right here instead. Well, that's going to be fairly far away, like so. So I don't really need to put that much detail there. But when it comes to when it comes to design. For these, it seemed, like I said, it seemed to me that they are very strong visual elements. And then pushing it this direction, because I really want to keep that. Maybe like so. And then this could stay undefined by something else. I don't know, maybe it's just going to be one continuous value of a greenery there. So yeah, I think I have those sunflowers right there. Maybe adjust, because this one looks kind of stupid here right now. Not stupid, but kind of weird. Maybe I should get rid of this. I don't think I like that. Almost seemed like I trying too hard to fill out some empty spaces. It's just, I don't like that feeling when I'm working. So let's push a little darker values right here. Perhaps these ones seem they could be darker. So I have also not only a shape, but also a little bit of understanding of value. But again, I don't want to overpower some other areas. So I still have to leave a space for, because the inside part of sunflowers are dark, right? But it's still, it's dark, but I have to show that there is a darkness and there is a shadow. So I have to be careful with just darkening it too much. So I have 1, 2, 3. This one needs to go as well, a little darker. But then these are overlapping, so I have to be again careful with this one. Right here. And again, I'm just looking for shape, for a pleasing shape that I like. And I still don't know what to do. Are they going to be, well, not that I don't know what to do. Is this going to be, and this is a problem with creating these really developed sketches, because right now I'm not sure Right now, I'm not sure 100% how to treat the background. Should the background be lighter or darker? So this would probably deserve another sketch, like I said, with these sunflowers. Maybe this one's going to be like broken this way, I don't know. And this one could actually go out from here. So it goes this way and up here, right? So I kind of keep you in that swooping motion, right? So it goes something like this, right? As well, the last one, and maybe just add a little stem, connect it. So I have like a, And again, this is not exactly how sunflowers look in the real life probably, but it doesn't matter because this is a painting. So it's like a little bit of artistic license there. I feel like painting low key is more challenging than high key because I can't see 100% what's going on due to glares. Well, yes, but glares are also, actually, speaking about the glares, there is a, they talked about it in that the practice and science of painting that Harold Speed wrote. That's like a continuation to that, the practice and science of drawing. And he actually talks about this in length in some of his chapters, that glare is a big problem when it comes to painting, but we should be really patient with the glare because it can negatively affect our understanding of values. Oh, for me, I don't know, I read it long time ago, and there are some ideas that he pointed out there that simply I cannot stop thinking about them. They were incredibly impactful when it comes to composition, I think. And then, you know, it's then it's up to you. How are you going to use them? And I think that for me, especially when it comes to Harold Speed, it almost feels to me, and this is going to sound stupid, but like we could hang out together, right? Sometimes, you know, okay, so I have sunflowers there. I have an overall direction that I want them to be. And right now I have to continue working on that segment number 3, which is the icon that I have right here. And this is going to be a problem, I guess, a little bit, because I changed the idea a little bit. I have on both sides, I have Virgin Mary and Jesus, and I'm not sure that that was such a good idea. So other one should be maybe just a portrait of Jesus. And the reason is because I could connect them together. You know, I was thinking about that right now as I compose this and design. So I have these sunflowers which have particular shape. I have a particular shape. And then I have a, let me create a little bit of harder edge right here. What I was trying to say is that I have that particular shape of sunflowers, which are kind of a circles, but they're not circles, but kind of a circles with the dark values inside, and then yellowness of the flower around, right? And I'm kind of thinking that I could do the same thing. I could do icon, which is like a gild, like it's gilded around. It's a gold around, and the Jesus is in the middle. You know that when you think about like a classic representation of icon, which would kind of relates to those sunflowers. Visually, right? So that would be that connection, that would be that herald speed, a harmony or unity within a variety and variety within unity, which kind of harmonize the whole painting together. And then goes for all of you who are interested in composing. These are the things that you have to look for. These harmonizers, how would I even call them? I don't even know. But a problem is going to be how to harmonize this sunflower painting with that painting right there. And you know what? The more I'm working on it, I don't even want to harmonize them. Because right now, today, when I put them next to each other, I felt that they are completely different. But it might be because I haven't started working on the right side of that fragment painting. And perhaps I could create one painting with this particular style and do it a little bit more graphic in terms of, we talked about the Leindecker and Daniel Bilmes and Dennis Sarrazin these last couple days. I have old school Rembrandt kind of a feeling from that, and then perhaps push even other some kind of a style. So we bring kind of a different ideas, you know, layers. I talked about this all the time, like layers. I like that idea that it has layers. So I don't know if it's going to work as a one unit, if there would be only one version of this and the second version of that. But if I add a third one, automatically you're gonna be, okay, so those are all different styles, but some kind of a similar, with the similar, not similar subject, with the same subject. I don't know. It might work, it might not work, I don't know. Because this painting right now works only as a shape. And I have to be really specific about these things a little bit more, because this is something that I believe is a very difficult moment when it comes to composing. For me especially. And that is that I'm looking at this particular painting that I created right here, and I wouldn't even call it painting, it's just abstract shapes that somehow resembles a sleeve, a portrait, and the sunflowers. All this works right now only as a graphic shape. It has no other, how would I even put this? There's nothing else that is holding this drawing together. It's just a randomness of a background against randomness of a pigment that is right there. And A pigment, it's kind of a, not kind of, that pigment is the same hue, same value almost everywhere. And the underpainting is something that harmonizes all these elements together. The moment that I start introducing a color, it's just the graphic shape is going to go away immediately. And that's when you look on the work of Denis that we talked about, Sarrazin. That's why he has these very simple backgrounds, very flat ones, that they are unified, right? Daniel Bilmes uses the underpainting, and Sarrazin uses just one not clear continuous layer, but very very flat background. And that works perfectly and juxtapose that volumetric painting. Right now, I would have a hard time to create full color with this painting, strictly because I have another element that are created by a pigment, which is a ground plane that goes into a distance with atmospheric and linear perspective as well. So imagine that I would have to right now add another element, which would be, I don't know, like a horizon line somewhere here. Let me just grab a charcoal because it's going to be, you're going to see it better. So I have to add a horizon line somewhere here. Not that I have to, but it's going to be, I'm going to imply that horizon line from the painting next to it because they are together. Immediately when I placed that horizon line there, I broke that graphic shape. And this is something that I forgetting, and I saw it in the different paintings of different artists and students as well, and most of the time in students, that I am not taking that into consideration, the horizon line and the other elements, one of them being a ground plane and maybe some kind of an environment behind and around. If a painting is in this stage, in the drawing stage, you don't need to take care about that. You don't need to be thinking about this, because very rarely we see a monochromatic or charcoal drawing of a figure with fully developed environment, because it's really challenging to create an environment with charcoal, because you have to work only with value and keep it nice and clean and clear with values, which is way more challenging than with values and color. For the reasons that I mentioned before, when we think about Impressionism, that we have same values, different hues, and different saturations. Unfortunately, charcoal does not have saturation. So you don't have a saturation, you don't have a hue, and you don't have a texture even to create a difference. So what we tend to do with drawing especially, it's to push that graphic shapes, and we want to keep it in that graphic shape. The moment I know this is what's going to happen, and I can prove you, I can start painting on top of this, immediately the graphic shape is going to go out of the window. So I have to make sure that I still have that graphic shape. I don't know how, but it has to stay there. And that's what happens to my larger fragment painting that it's in the corner right now, that from a distance, and when you're looking at it right now, maybe in the corner of a video, you can see it there, that I need to push that graphic shape a little bit more, because I'm missing it there right now. So it works as a volume, but it doesn't work as a graphic shape, I need to really go into that. I need to push. Should I push this way? I need to push that composition in that kind of a graphic area a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to focus on later with that particular painting, because I have a strong graphic shape right here, right now. Let me see if I can turn on my camera. I believe I can. Okay, it works, it works, it works. Pretty badly though. Okay, it's working right now, okay. So I have these sunflowers there graphically, it's working, and it's okay, it's fine, but like I said, I have a problem with that, what to do next with this. And then when we go down, like so it's not necessarily the worst drawing of the sunflowers I've seen. Okay. So I have to really look into. You like the shapes? Oh, cool, thank you. I appreciate it. Nice, nice. So they work. Okay, so you see sunflowers there. I was worried for a second that, you know, they're too generic, but, you know, it's okay for now. But like I said, it's just going to, well, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to add, since this is a Bed Painting Friday on Monday, I'm going to add a little bit more of that, more of a pigment. And this is all extremely warm, so what if I bring, should I bring that? Okay, let me do this. I know this is going to be stupid, but, you know, I'm going to bring is it going to fit there? I hope it will. I don't know if this is a good idea. And there is one thing that the little disclaimer: don't do this at home, unless you are, you know. What? This is crazy. Okay. Let me see it. So what I'm trying to do right now is to see how are these going to be connected. I did that better than you did? I don't think so. I highly doubt that. That's a camera did it. Maybe if I have some ideas how to do this. I have some ideas. Could it be, let me see. I have these clamps here. Maybe I could use one. There's just so much stuff around here that so if I clamp this here, like so, yeah, that might work. So I have to go from the other side. I apologize for this, but you know, like I said, this is a very ghetto setup of a studio. So this right here, and what if I okay, I know what I need. All right. I know what I need. I need a couple things. One of them would be a stapler, and this is what I love to do. And it's kind of a strange feeling to other people seeing this, but this is something like one of my what do I call it, pet peeves? I don't know if this is pet peeve is the right word. One of the things that I do, that I start thinking about these adjustments, and then you can't really stop. Perhaps I could just go. Okay, this could be enough. So what I did, I'm just trying to connect it to an easel. So it stays there flat, so I can judge it next to each other. Okay, yeah, I think it works, doesn't it? Yeah, we're good, we're good. All right, so right now I just need to, okay, like I said, don't do this at home. And let's look at this together. Yeah, we have to connect it with something. I put it too low. I'm trying to push that, oops. I'm trying to push that diagonal there that I was talking about, maybe even a little higher. And right now we're on the same position, but then he looks like he's too high up. See, this is when I would prefer to have a Photoshop files or digital medium files and just scale down like for I don't know, like 7%, and it would be perfect. Because he seemed a little too big. Maybe he's not big. Maybe I just push him a little lower, and he might be a little closer to us than I thought previously, just for the sake of this particular painting. Yeah, let's do this. Let's push him this way. I'm a fine collector. Yeah, I'm a fine. That's perfect. Yes, let's categorize me as a fine collector. Yeah. So I have this, this, and that. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, with the other one. Well, maybe I could shorten him a little bit. But then I'm afraid that, well, let's try. Let's see. Maybe I could shorten him with a with the color right now. I'm just pushing these things out of the way because I want to make sure that I don't have a cast shadow on my canvas. So it doesn't, you know, so I can see a composition properly. Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I think it's okay. I think right now the problem is that it's orange. So let's push it with the pigment all over the place and see what's going to happen. Actually, I know what's going to happen. It's just going to ruin the overall composition, and I'm aware of that. And that's when that problem with transitioning for me occurred. I did a nice kind of a graphic shape, and then I came to point that, okay, I'm going to put the background right now, and so on and so forth. And the moment that I put the background down, all the graphic shape and the work that I put into a graphic shape kind of disappeared. Like I was, and all the values and the kind of a solid monochromatic, what I'm trying to say. Color harmony, yes, solid monochromatic color harmony went out of the window. So, and that's a problem. That is truly a problem. All right, so, but you know, it's going to be fun. Let's use a, is this for real? Let's use a fan brush. And let's continue with these monochromatic pigments, and let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen. So I have to squeeze a little bit more of that ivory black. And I still have enough white, so it's going to be ivory black here. And I'm going to go, I have a yellow ochre. I need a little bit more of that beautiful vermilion. Okay, so I'm just going to go to a store, and this is going to be directly the first pigment that I'm going to grab, this beautiful vermilion. I'm in love with this color. It's just, I don't even remember last time when I was so excited about the pigment. Okay. And I'm going to show you how this is going to look extremely purple on that canvas. First little test on, okay, I need to go a little this way because I want to harmonize it a little bit. So I'm going to okay. Are you ready for this? This is going to get crazy real quick. You're ready for it? Go for it. Okay, I'm loving it that, you know, how everybody's so supportive when I'm doing these crazy decisions, and and you guys are like, yeah, go for it. Of course, 100%. So, and I'm going to push that. A little bit. Okay, so this is a super challenge of a craziness. And what I'm going to do with this pigment right now, right here, I'm going to actually, you know, paint the flowers, the sunflowers as well, right? So maybe a little bit of that yellow ochre there. And I'm not trying to cover everything, only because I want a little bit of that orange showing through. It's going to get a little bit more of that, how would you call it? Saturation from underneath. You see how slowly that slowly it's starting to fall apart the moment I start introducing a background. That's why you should always, you know, think about these issues. And the problem is that if you never experienced them before, you might have a hard time. I know what's going to happen, so I embrace myself for that. So we're good. And, you know, it's the same process again. I'm trying to keep that, I'm trying to paint with the idea of this is my focal point in mind, right? And not only a focal point, but also corners. Also that I'm trying to color harmonize them together, these two paintings, so they belong to each other. And also I am painting a negative space as well, right? So by painting that negative space, it's actually creating a positive space of sunflowers. if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but it should. Well, this is the way I see them right there. Well, let me just really use a pigment. Okay, if I want to continue that kind of a light going through, maybe I should add this a little bit more of the yellow ochre. And maybe a little bit of, so I'm creating that kind of a transition into a green, which could be used for these sunflowers as well, a little bit. Like that abstract green is there, and maybe even more. And I just jumped to another canvas. Maybe that should be a greenery there. Maybe behind them, it is the field of sunflowers. Why not, right? And he's starting to fall into a place. And right now, if I just push his clothes, and this is going to be a problem right now when we talk about that graphic shape that I've remembered that I struggled with. If I put him into a different color and different hue, and it's going to he's going to be treated differently than the sunflowers, then I'm just going to lose that graphic shape. So I'm going to put the background right now. Completely and fully enclosed him into a background, already existing background, and then I'm going to key his clothes to a sunflower, so they will bring together that feeling of that graphic shape. And what I have to do is to keep the light areas and the dark areas work together as a shape, among the other things. But these are the ones that I want to focus on a little bit. So I have a extremely green, so let's neutralize that. The more of that blue purple hue. And I'm working abstractly, I mean, just having fun with this right now. And I'm going to connect it again to a green through here. So there is a little bit more greenish hue right there. And again, I'm going to use more and more of that And then it's almost like I see almost like a purely yellow there. Right here. Right, so I'm trying to connect that visually together. The problem is that here I have a light area. Right here I have a light area, so I should probably push it light there as well. Right, so it kind of connects. Okay. It's a kind of a rough estimation of what's happening there. You're being silly. I'm sorry. I was just I forgot to read the comments because I'm so into this solving the problem. But you should be silly. That's that's awesome. The silliness is the best way to paint. That's maybe some of these could be like I hint that pigment there. Okay. And then I need more of that. More of the white, so this has to go. Yeah, I'm running out of white successfully. I cannot use the small one, I have to go with the big one. So you can see how much pigment I'm using. I mean, this was a huge tube of white, and started using it almost halfway through. This painting, so let me just put it right here because I'm going to use it a lot. And it's gone. And it is gone almost. All right. So this is still wet, but I can work here. If I finish this, the background, then I will have to put him into some kind of clothes, and probably I'm going to do him give him that kind of a blue and I need also more of this. Okay, and right now that green, let's do like really saturated green. Let's see what's gonna happen, because I think I made that really saturated there. Yeah, but I forgot one thing. I forgot to give him a cast shadow. No, never mind. I'll do a cast shadow as well. I will incorporate it in. What was the one that was I using a sap green? I think so. for the transparent mixture. I think it was a subgreen. Seems like it. So let's pump that saturation a little bit. Let's go with yellow. Like I said, the fact that I like to work with layers, this is not going to be a final render. It needs to be adjusted further, and I have to go with that kind of a white, yellow, and yellow ochre. And then again, darker values. Okay, a little bit of the lighter value there, which is not bad. So let's preserve that with a pigment. It needs to be way more saturated. Okay, a little bit of that interest there, and then maybe a lighter value here that I saw there. And this one is completely dried out, okay. Oh, this is probably the coolest part when it comes to painting, having fun with the background. So you see how we lost a little bit of that graphic shape? Well, maybe you cannot see it, but I can see it because it's just that it looks like an art supply shopping list is required. Yeah, yeah. But for me, it's just when I go to an art store, I'm like a little kid. So I want everything. So that kind of a traditional art supply a list goes out of the way immediately, and I go, yeah, I want this. Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I offer this? Can I afford this? Of course I can. And then I have no lunch for a week. Yeah, this is the one. So let's push it. And I'm gonna, I'm painting a little more impasto right now. Because I want to create a texture. and that texture later going to be I can use it when I'm going to go into that I can maybe use this for some of these sunflower. Ideas that I had here. The stems, that's what I meant. Sunflower stems. Just showing them through. And the reason why I want to put it there right now, it's because I want that soft edges there. Kind of goes into a randomness with this. Okay, I'm just trying to create an abstract shape, and abstract color, and you don't need to be careful about anything right now. You can just go and paint as much as you want. And this area right here looks a little too much, perhaps, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see. Because I want to push the diagonal again. And if you can see, what I'm doing is that I have I don't think, maybe you can. I have a lighter saturated value here, here, and I want to push it all the way here, which will kind of increase that effect, because I haven't had a chance to push it with my arm. It didn't really fit very well. My arm, you remember I was talking about that. I'm not sure if that, yeah, I think it's going to work. So let me push it here a little bit more with this. And then a second pass is going to be, again, I'm going to grab yellow ochre, and I'm really going to push that lighter areas right there. But right now, I think I color harmonize that. I don't know if it's that visible, but you can see the difference right now. This is a beautiful moment for you to understand the difference of layering. Like, look how much more interesting the pigment on a main fragment is. Like, look around these areas, how many transitions and randomness is there. And I personally cannot really create this kind of effect by direct painting. It always has to be through layers, through Scamble and what I'm trying to say, scambling, which is dry brush, and then glazing. I'm sorry, my brain is not braining. And also you can see it right here. There's so many random things that are happening by playing with that idea. Oh, excuse me. Again, the sneezing moment started. I don't know what it is. So let's push him right now. Let's paint him. And you know, these random abstract shape that I have right here, right now, they are underdeveloped because, you know, there's a lot of mixing of a pigment goes. But the reason why I put them here, because then I can again, I'm trying to create the contrast, or not contrast, the direction for the pigment. And then when it dries up, I can just start slowly bringing these little lines, and it's automatically going to change the flowers. You don't even going to, you don't have that much work to do when it comes to these. It's just a few little motion with the brush, a thin line, and you're going from thinner to thicker. If you're starting from a flower, and if you're starting from the ground, then you go thicker to thinner. It's not that difficult then to create. The problem is that you have to design even those lines, so they should not be random. That's what I'm trying to say. And right now I should do his garment. So is he going to be neutral? I guess so. Where do I have paper towels? Yeah, I guess. So what am I going to? I'm going to use a probably clean this brush a little bit. Well, I could use a different one, but I kind of like what was happening. Just a quick cleanup, and then right now I should go like Bob Ross, just to destroy everything around, and you know, make a mess everywhere. Remember, once you clean your brushes, this is mineral spirits. I like to keep that closed, so it does not evaporate. Something to think about when you work with big brushes, big palette, and large surfaces, because you know, I'm going to spread it on the large surface, and it's going to evaporate more than when you have a small pile and a small canvas. What do I need? I need yellow ochre, because I completely used this one. Okay, this is I could use this as a texture. Okay, let me use this as a texture, because I'm a hoarder, I'm a collector. Camera doesn't work, no, never mind. So I'm gonna go with the same idea with dark pigment, and I'm going to actually hit it with it. Just to harmonize it. Something like this. Would this work? I think it would. It could. I guess we're good. Let's see. This is the reason why you don't want to go that much into detail, because you're just gonna, I'm going to destroy it. You might try to prevent of doing this somehow. I don't know how, but maybe I should push these a little darker. The shadows, at least, the main ones. Since I labored with them. At least these major ones. Maybe I could connect this for now as a one continuous shape as well. Yep. You really enjoy that spontaneous feeling of my painting? Yeah, well, it's that bad painting Friday. And hear me out, it really seemed that I'm just goofing around with the pigment, but it also comes up, you know, it's just it's a part of having that experience. I've been here. I know the problems that I'm going to not the problems. I know that I had issues previously, and they were really reason that I was kind of I don't even know how to say it. I was just I was afraid to go further when it comes to painting. And when you think about it, there's really nothing to be afraid of. But of course you're going to be afraid, because, you know, say I had developed paint, I had the fully developed drawing, and right now it seems like I'm throwing it away, but I saw what I needed to see with that drawing, and right now I can push and have fun with other areas. And trust me, suddenly it makes sense to me as a composition, and I'm pumped that this is how it goes. Actually, it wasn't that bad of an idea. I was a little worried because of that orangeness, but the moment I started to harmonize these colors, I think we're good. And I think that we can even bond them together, and maybe right now push some sunflowers around here. That would be cool as well. So it's like a whale of sunflowers behind them. So it's like a sunflower field that they are going around. And this is just truly, you know what, I have to, and I have a goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them. It's not because it's cold, but because of that. And these are not the goosebumps because, like I said, I would be cold. I feel the excitement that things are getting closer to each other, and you're just harmonizing, and all these, like all that pressure of, you know, being afraid to put down the pigment, to put down the color, because someone is watching, and right now I should be like, you know, what was the famous sentence? that Vincent Desiderio used. Joe Pro. I'm not the Joe Pro. I'm not one of those guys that, and that's why I like his explanation and his lectures as well. Vincent Desiderio, I mean, because he's like, I'm just going to paint till I am satisfied. It's oil painting. You can always continue working on it, right? And you know, you just, if you are in the stage that I used to be a couple of years ago or a decade ago, I have to say, because it took me 10 years to kind of break that barrier of having a nice drawing and not being able to paint, because everything was drawing. And that's why I am so deeply against the drawing in that kind of a general sense that you made a line and then you made another line and then you color in between these two lines, because you are very less capable of doing changes with your painting. I am trying to paint, not draw when I do painting, right? I showed you that this is something, this is that fundamental, the first stage, right? The one that we did on that orange canvas. It's just a fundamental first idea that you can later on skip if you feel comfortable with the brush. It's very important to feel comfortable. And I've seen so many people feel uncomfortable with the brush, that they always refer back to that, oh, I have these large brushes, and then, oh, I have to correct something. And I'm saying this because I am I was a part of the problem as well, right? So I had that feeling of, oh, I have to correct it right now. I can't go with brush like today. I'm just going to take a brush and I'm going to go across like this because I don't care. Couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, before pandemic, it would never happen. It would never happen. I would be standing here and I would take the brush, and the drawing that I created, I will go nicely, slowly this edge. I need to have this edge right here. Well, I don't anymore because I'm not sure if it's going to be there. Why should I spend so much time carefully crafting it if I'm thinking about this painting as something that we talked about before when I was talking about Bruce Lee, that it's like a water, it flows and I want to change it. It's just, I don't want to be restrained in that area. And if you lose this kind of a pressure that I created that thought for myself, that it has to be that way. The moment you lose this, it's just everything's gonna be fine. And I'm glad that you are pushing yourself, because I remember that when I was at the beginning of this journey, I didn't have anybody that would be next to me and tell me but I did. I mean, Ramon Hurtado and Daniel Bilmos, they both were telling me this, but I did not have enough knowledge to be able to loosen up. I thought that they are telling me this only because they want me to feel a little bit more comfortable with my bad painting. And they were not. They were just trying to save me so many hours of I don't want to say anger, but disappointment. I don't know. I don't even know how to say that. And maybe I could push it a little bit more. Right now it's warmer, so let's go and do a little cooler version of that. And the reason why I want to create a cooler version of that is because that will create a kind of a nice transition from, I have a cooler, warmer, then I have a warmer, cooler, and this is going to be warmer again. So, and these pigments are nicely going to you know, just because this is just a preliminary painting. I'm not, this is not a finished. It could happen to be finished if it's going to be all right, but I don't really care. And maybe just warm it a little bit with the yellow ochre. So it's going to be warmer, but it's not going to be browner. Maybe a little bit of that vermilion there, just to turn it purple. So this will give me like that randomness of that underpainting, because I'm going to have something, it's still same value, you can see that it's still same value, it's just a different different hue and saturation actually as well. Maybe a little bit of this green there. This is exactly, you know, and you're gonna laugh at me, but this is exactly what Bob Ross is talking about all the time. And I know that Bob Ross is not really considered as like an awesome painter when it comes to these, you know, heavy hitters like I don't know, like Andrew Wyeth, right? Because they were probably contemporaries. And I know that a lot of people are laughing at Bob Ross, and you know what? I used to laugh at Bob Ross. Not anymore. Not anymore. I think he's cool when it comes to just giving people well, and I think that I started to enjoy him even more the moment I started to stream myself, because it is so challenging to, you know, to paint and also trying to explain certain things, and and I'm not trying to look desperate because, you know, because how bad my painting sometimes looks when they're in process. So this could be a little lighter, and I'm just feeling my way around this. I'm not really being so concerned about stuff. I know that there should be some little lighter areas here. Right, so I'm slowly creating a little bit of volume, so I will keep some of the stuff there that I painted, right, or underpainted. They would never allow you to do this in a classical atelier. They would be just, what are you doing, man? I remember these things. And I was like that when I saw someone else painting this way. Well, let's just put a little bit of this blue here, just for fun, as a Bob Ross does. Let's get a little bit of this, just to punch up that saturation that I need. Yeah, that's the one. Cool. So I'm connecting this together because I want this to be, this is a half tone, and this is a shadow. And I'm just introducing these pigments together and just having fun moving around, being free. Yes, exactly. It's just it's that Bob Ross, the little you know, it's the same. And you know what is such a powerful way of having fun when you think about, oh, this little green needs its friend. That's exactly as you mentioned, because it's just you're just And that's something that I was really truly missing, even in the academy, because no one was actually talking to me this like really childish, stupid way. And I think that it's very important to have this, the kind of a childish approach to this. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. And again, this is just the preliminary first layer, and I think that the color, and it's very close to what I wanted to have. And it's also because of that orange underpainting showing through. It's something that when we talk about Rembrandt, he utilized so masterfully, right? Because it's Rembrandt, that's for starter, but then also because it's such a powerful idea that he understood somehow that the light goes inside the pigment, right? It goes inside the pigment and then bounces back from the lower layer, which is very saturated, and goes through these other layers. When you paint transparently, because this is semi-transparent, I can see still little spots of oranges, and it just automatically saturate the pigments that otherwise you would think about like they're desaturated, which is extremely important to understand, because that will give you another tool to play with. And immediately you can tell that, you know, the sunflowers that I have there, I'm just going to put that, I'm just going to make this area a little less warm and a little more cool. And I even have a local color for sunflowers. Right? And just automatically I hit it there, and it's just almost very close to how sunflowers would look. And I didn't really labor that much on them. It's just, you know, just moving around. Okay, just softening all these edges right there. Nice. And then also we created a nice kind of a continuous, and this is something that is very, very important for me. It's just when you go from here, but this is way more developed. You can see that there is a lot of things that are happening here. And I'm looking for this whole silhouette that's happening right here, and then it nicely connects, and I need to connect it with the sunflowers. So some of the sunflowers should be here as well, since we started that sunflower topic there. So compositionally, perhaps one could be right here, like so. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little, like a small ones in the distance. And we'll go here and behind him. So I will connect these two paintings through the sunflower chain. Right? I mean, right now it's wrongly placed. I just moved around because I have 1 to 3 again next to each other, and they are in the same distance, right? So it's from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. It's the same thing, but that's okay. I'm just going to move around. It's just a mental note for myself. And the other things that I should do is just to hit this with a different pigment that's related to all this so it doesn't fight with the sunflowers. So I'm gonna hit it with a yellow ochre, most likely, or some saturated pigment, because I want to create that feeling of gold. And if I were to really go into this final stage, and I will see the final painting, these three segments, and I will go into one 2x3, I would probably make this out of gold leaves, and I would just put the gold leaves there. So that would be the golden areas. And even it works right now, and I don't know if you see it, I go nicely 1, 2, 3. That's that V shape that kind of helps that overall feeling of a composition. It's really important to think about all these elements that are there. And I know that sometimes it looks very difficult and challenging, but you have to find a creative solutions to your problems. And we talked about the sunflowers, and why not to add them there? What's going to happen? What are they going to tell me, that sunflowers are not part of the field, or, you know, who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. I heard an important quote, I think it was today, early morning, when I was listening to some commentary, that there is, or it was yesterday evening when I was returning. I came home very, very late. It was like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning, because I was finishing that NDA Blender project. And I was listening to, I believe it was a lesson. It doesn't really matter. And they point out that there is, we have such a huge disconnect from even a literature, that there is way more people writing poems than people that are reading them. That's crazy. And I think that can be applied for a painting as well. It just kind of stuck into my head that there is probably more people these days painting than people that actually go and enjoy to look at paintings. It's almost it's crazy to say that, but I have that feeling time to time. You think that they're fit there? Okay, that's perfect. You know what? And this is the beauty of this our stream, because we talked about these sunflowers, and I would never even thought of sunflowers because I am locked into these four walls in my studio, and I don't go outside very often. So I would be locked into this environment. And I wouldn't expose myself to these random thoughts, and I'm not saying that sunflowers are random, it's just it randomly land into my painting. And I think that they're going to work. And here is the thing, I am going to make them work, so should you make them work in your painting by finding these creative solutions. Because like I said, it's not necessarily about sunflowers, because if you remember, I started with the idea that I need some kind of a shape here. And I put a circle there, and I was mentioning that Daniel Bilmer's discussion that I had with him years ago, decade for sure. Yeah, that's the problem that I have right now. And what the orange stuff. And here's another thing. If I'm not looking at this painting, right, the main fragment painting, I compositionally created what I wanted to, and that's, you know, I have one, right, with that orange, it's nicely visible. I have this area right here, different than this area right here, different than this area right here, different than this area right here. That's these four corners that are completely different. But I'm thinking that this orange, and this orange works together. And I'm not thinking about the orange right now. I'm thinking about, okay, that's a value works together very well. That means I can change this hue, I can change this hue, I can change this hue, but if I keep saturation and value the same, they're going to harmonize together very nicely as a composition. I'm thinking that, and I'm not, I forgot to use my references, because this is all, I'm just working with an imagination right now. And I don't want to be, bothered with some specific references, because they're really going to, I think that they would hold me back. Let's check out the mirror and what mirror thinks about this. Well, mirror is not big enough to show me no, I think it's okay. I think it's good. It's unfortunate that I wish this canvas is a little bit bigger right here. So I might actually do another one slightly bigger right here, because I'm missing a little bit more information here for them to be connect. But I'll figure something out. You know what? I will just make a small little painting right here in the corner. So we just connect them just for fun. As a, like, let's do a full mosaic. It's just when you are a collector, you just, I don't even need to go that far. I have I have it ready right here, right? So there's a beautiful another painting waiting for me right here. I'm pretty sure, as a little corner there. And actually, I'm gonna do that. Let's do that for Bed Painting Friday. So I'll do a little painting, and it's going to be like an environmental painting, something like a not the still life as I usually do, but let's turn it into a landscape. So we'll have fun. So we will have more fun. Okay, so I have this, and that. So I can just go and start working on that. I'm just going to quickly cover this with the gold. So I will change the pigments here, and then we can go into portrait and start nailing the portrait and start working with the portrait a little bit more. Because I think that that's what's missing right now. And I have to be careful because position of this face are starting to look very similar than position of this face. So I might actually decide to push his head up as I had previously right now when I'm looking at that. A combination of when I see them together. I need to up my game, you're wild. Well, you know what? It's just this will come with just seeing every day the same thing, and that's why I think that we have a problem with art, because it's just so much of just to recycle the same idea. And I think that AI, it's important and incredibly powerful tool, but then I saw that lately we started to rely on that so much, so heavily, that everything looks the same. And it's just I don't think that that's the end of the art, not at all. It's just that moment when again we went all the way up. Right now we're here. We need to go down to have a lot of bad art. So someone again is going to lift it, pick up that broken stage of art and just move it forward. And there are still a couple of these people, and I mentioned them. It's Daniel Bilmes, Ramon Hurtado, from those who live, and my contemporaries actually. Vincent Desiderio, the Odd Nerderum, these are the guys that I really enjoy their paintings. And I can't tell who is Vincent Desiderio in his like behind the scene life. Same for Odd Nerderum. I'm strictly talking about their quality of paintings, not about their opinions about the world, because I have no idea. I can talk about Ramon Hurtado and Daniel Bilmes, that these are cool guys and just absolute powerhouses when it comes to painting, because I know them. I spent a lot of time with them. I'm thinking that we continue with that idea there. Yeah. I'm still stuck right here, because I suddenly saw that I have a similar angles here, and I'm going angle, and this angle, and they're kind of. So that's why I really need that sunflowers there right now. And you know what? I was planning to add background there anyway. So whether it's a hills or sunflowers, like I said, it doesn't really matter. It's just need that shape. It need that direction. Need that diagonal. And then another thing that we have to do, I believe, is to I have to create like a larger setup. So yeah, it's probably going to be name of the game. So I will get this on the easel. This is going to lay as it is, and I need that other painting and start that other painting as soon as possible, the right side as well. And I would like to go back and forth between them and then paint across. And then I have to go to get frames for them, because I have to put them in the frame before I finish them. That's something that you should also think about when you're finishing these big paintings. You should get the frame and then adjust it, again, a little bit, tweak it when it's inside the frame, because that's going to change your colors and harmonies a little bit. Depends on the frame. So, but I'm probably going to do my own frame, so that's going to take a while. So I have to get the materials, I have to get wood, I have to sand it, I have to, glue it together the way that I want to, and then cut it and paint it, stain it, and so on and so forth. So it's just a lot of work that comes into that, final piece. But I think it's going to look good if we add, because I already starting to see, a little bit of there, and you can tell that this is what we're missing here, which is going to be cool, like other group of people. Yeah. Let me just go get a warm tea, and I'll be right back. Just a second. right, I am back. And I just realized how dark it is here again. I can't see anything anymore. So let me just maybe put a real quick, just a lighter value there. Right here for this, yep. Let's just hit it with a leftover yellow that I have here. Oops. Okay, cool. And then I should put something here. So just a quick adjustment, and I will have to probably end again sooner today, because this is where the pole is going to go. I already decided that this is the spot, and this is going to be the angle. It's here, and it's going all the way here, and it has to be soft transition there. Okay, so this is where it's going to be. Cool. And probably somewhere here is going to be a portrait. Maybe a little lower. Of Jesus. Kind of a traditional one. Like that. Salvator Mundi, I believe it's a famous one. Supposedly by Leonardo da Vinci, but I guess that's, I don't know. I don't know if it's Leonardo da Vinci, but maybe it is. I don't know. So I can a little bit suggest it there. And I'm trying to, you know, again, utilize all the pigments that I have leftovers here. From my palette. Because I can't really mix anything else because I don't see. It's really dark here. No, it's gone. Sun is gone completely. It's just it's behind the hill, and that's it for me today. But I'm going to be here tomorrow, and then I'll prepare these little small paintings, and we can do actually variations of that on Friday. The bottom part. This is going to be. It's going to be fun. It's going to be nicely balancing. So it's not going to be triptych, it's going to be diptych. No, it's going to be quadruptych, or whatever the name for that is. I don't even know. I'm just really being silly now. Okay, so I have accomplished few of the things that I wanted to. Not all of them, but definitely few. I'm kind of excited because of this. Weird project. So let me maybe oops, whoa, yeah, maybe there. Or it could go from here. Well, I don't know. Let me maybe cover this with a little bit of black and blue. Okay, I will have to deal with that a little bit. That silhouette, you remember I talked about that silhouette, but that's okay. I think that that's it for today. I think that we did a lot of good work. No, this is way too dark. I still don't want to stop painting because I think that okay. Yeah, I think this is a good place to stop right now. I think that I am in a good good position when it comes to that preliminary setup. The only thing that right now bothers me is that everything leaning that way, right? So I have too much of this diagonal right now. So I have to stabilize it with something. So maybe some of these stems should go this direction, perhaps. You know, to give him a little bit more of that support. But this is just a, we'll see, we'll deal with that. Or perhaps I should push this, maybe this should go even brighter. Well, let's try to do that. That's gonna be a last thing, I promise. And then I'm not gonna bother you anymore. So I'm gonna hit it with this, which is not a clean pigment, and with a little bit of this, no, a little bit of, yeah. First of all, I should probably wipe the existing pigment off of there, because I already started to paint impasto there because I want a texture. So this has to go. Right, and let's hit it really hard with the, yep, this is exactly what I needed. This is going to give it that kind of a gold feel. Randomness. And I can always, you know, like I mentioned, I can always make saturated pigment less saturated than the other way around. Well, I can do it the other way around, but this is easier. So what I'm going to create a little bit more like a lighter value there. So I'm pushing that okay, so I'm just going to continue bother people here on stream. But you can see that right now I'm pushing this little lighter because he feels like it's going this direction into diagonal, and I need to counterbalance him to this this area. So I'm maybe going to push this even bigger on this side, right? So it's just kind of, so it shows that the reason why he's like this it's because he's holding something heavy in his hand, even though it's not heavy, but I want a little bit of that kind of a more interesting gesture, because again, I don't want everybody to be like a pillars upside down. So he's like a little bit of that kind of a like that position that he's holding it this way. I don't know how to describe it, because this is, I mean, he could have been like this, but then I want him to be more like this, so he's holding it. And perhaps that's the reason why I was thinking that he's looking up, because you can't be like this and looking up. That's just that's just not natural. So I think that that's what's going to help if I push his head and his gaze up towards the sky. I don't know. We can still decide on this, because this is not necessarily the only way to push him right now. But you know, it's all going to happen later, because I can't really work right now. I can't see anything. So one thing that I'm missing is the feet, and then we will work on the sunflowers a little bit more tomorrow, and then we're going to go again into this drawing, quote unquote, to get a little bit more of that resolution, a little bit more of the detail. Yeah, but I think this is going to work. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I should put a little darker there. I can deal with that tomorrow. So this is like a quick. Okay. Yep. So I really cannot continue anymore on this painting, because it's really, really dark, and you can see it also on my camera how laggy it is, because it's, you know, it's really punched up that ISO, and it's grainy, and also, you know, it's just it's not only a problem for streaming, but it's also a problem. And actually, let me just point it out. If I turn on the lights, you already know what's going to happen. It's going to be everything orange. Even more orangey than it is, just for the sake of the argument. Oops, all right. So you can see it needs adjustment. It needs a serious adjustment, a light. But remember what we talked about. The important part with these experiments is that these are not, I don't want to say that these are, that I prepared for this. I haven't, but, or I didn't rather, I didn't, but I had something in my mind, and I was playing with this a whole weekend, and I was worried about that oranginess and the sunflowers and so on and so forth. So, but I feel a little bit more confident right now when we put it there, and that's something that I'm pretty sure you remember me talking about, and that's that. How would I? Let me. I don't know how to describe this. Well, because of the experience that I have with this particular way of painting, I knew that I might run into problems later on, and the most important part would be that I really, really felt that I want to continue developing right now, to paint eyes, to do a nose, to do mouth, to work on the sunflowers, to perfectly, you know, kind of put them together so they look believable. Same with the feet, and so on and so forth. And I could have, but then again, I would be fighting with the drawing. I would be fighting with that idea of, oh, look how nice is being drawn underneath, and right now I cannot really take the pigment and just go over it, because if you're looking at this right now, like all that information, like the folds and things that I put here, they just completely disappear. And you might be asking, like, well, what's the reason for you to painting it in the first place? Well, for Rembrandt, it would be probably redundancy, right? But for me, I needed to see how the sleeve is going to look and where the hand should be, and you know, all these folds. And I painted it first time. I know it's going to work in terms of the volume. So right now I could unleash that kind of having fun with the blues and greens and sunflowers and so on and so forth, not being afraid that the composition is not going to be right. Again, I will have a problem with the arm and with the folds and so on and so forth. I already saw it. It's kind of, I don't want to say that it's burned in my head, but I saw that it's possible. And I remember I was talking to, who was it? And it was also 10 years ago, a great master, a very good friend of mine as well, Sean Cheatham. And we talked about this, and I asked him when he did his preliminary drawing, it was, again, with the brush, it was very, very quick and very accurate. And I asked him, like, how do you start with the eye and develop the whole drawing from the eye? And he said that when he's sitting in front of his canvas and it's blank, and he's looking at the figure on the portrait especially, he takes that image and he kind of burns it into a canvas, so he still sees that image even on the canvas, and he's just tracing what he remembers that he saw. And when he's not sure, he just looks back and then, okay, I got it. It was incredible to see him work alive when he was in the studio and he was giving these demonstrations, because it really felt like that. He just moved with the brush around, and then a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and I have an eye, and then he went straight into a pigment and color, and that's kind of that feeling of freedom, that you are not afraid to move around because you have certain certainty in what's going to happen. I haven't. And I'm not there yet, and I need way more of that kind of experience with the pigment, with the brushes, with ideas. So I am dividing these problematic areas into steps, right? And it kind of fits to a way of my layering process, which I really like, the technical narrative that we talked about. And it also helps me to kind of divide and conquer, right? As they say. So I divide these, I kind of divided this complicated problem into small separate ones, right? So I start with the graphic shape. I like the graphic shape. I knew that I had to add a sunflower, so I just moved with the sunflowers around. So, and then I was, okay, I see where the composition should be. I burned that image into my head. I couldn't do it immediately, but once I saw it, I know where I am and what I want to do. So I could start just moving around freely with the pigment, not being affected by any of that previous drawing that I had there. So that will be probably the process that goes into this. And I see how you can, like, you can either go this, and that, or you can go yellow, and yellow pigment. It's amazing how these things start working together if you really think them through in terms of edge, in terms of value, in terms of saturation, in terms of texture, in terms of atmospheric perspective, linear perspective, and list go on and on. So being able to not necessarily master all these techniques, but being aware that these techniques exist and you can use them in your, when you need them. Like when I was talking about picking up these assets from the library, when we talk about 3D sculpting, that's the similar thing with these techniques. I know that I can do the underdrawing or underpainting in this case, which will help me to navigate and move and adjust, because going and adjusting this with actual live paint on it, like working alla prima, I cannot do that. I am just with that amount of pigment that is right there on the canvas, because I paint with a thick, with a lot of paint, and some areas are kind of loose right here, which is like a thinner paint, but then I have an area with a thicker paint, like around here and this area as well. It will be difficult for me right now to move the head right here at this stage. I would have to wait till tomorrow or the day after tomorrow when it's touch dry a little bit, and then I can start moving into it. If I want to keep and preserve the saturation and the cleanness of color, and don't go into a really thick impasto painting when I would be covering everything over. So it's something to think about when you work on your projects, that technique and understanding of different techniques, how valuable that is, and having it into your disposal whenever you need it. That's why I have never been so, well, never been. That's why I shifted from being purist of, no, I'm just going to draw perfectly, then I'm going to set up my shadows, and then I'm going to roll the form out of the shadows. I was set into, my mind was set into this, that there is no other way to paint. And I found comfort in that. And I was kind of, I don't want to say that I was bullying anybody, but I was so adamant that I didn't want to even listen to anybody. And then I went to St. Petersburg, to Imperial Academy, and they destroyed my beliefs. that's probably the easiest way how to say it, but destroyed in the way that they, I don't want to say that they forced me, but the sheer amount of work that you have to do there forced me to start thinking a little bit more freely with stuff, right? Because every mistake that you do with your preliminary drawing will show at the end result. If you work, with that kind of a French academic a mindset that, oh, I did a perfect drawing, I transferred the drawing, then I did I lay down the shadows, and then I rolled the form from out of the shadows. There's just simply, there was too many steps, and I had to combine certain steps in order to be able to succeed with the setups and painting from life at the Imperial Academy, because they're really the bravura with brush and the color and the amount of precision that also goes with it, and looseness. It's just it was an amazing experience. That's what I'm trying to say. So think about these adjustments, think about the process, and also think about how that process can help you in developing final painting. That would be something that I would like to I would like to left or end this stream rather today. And you have a time right now till tomorrow to think about this, and maybe it's going to be just a small adjustment, but it's a step towards the right direction, I believe. Certainly it was for me, and I might be wrong. Actually, most of the time I'm wrong, but this is something that this idea of not giving up on any technique only because I haven't mastered it yet kind of helped me to free that possibilities, because I have a different techniques that I can use. Therefore, there might be a different solution to a same problem, right? And it might give me a different results, and then I can choose which one of those results is the one that I want to implement into this particular painting. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm just going to clean my palette. I'm going to deal with that really bad lighting condition right now. So I'm not gonna continue working on any other projects, and I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow. So stay cool and be safe. All right, take care. Bye.